Today, I'm going to show you a new marketing model, a new method that is absolutely knocking it out of the park. This is how you will be able to acquire new customers every single day like clockwork. And this works regardless of what product or service you're selling, regardless of what niche you operate in, and regardless of what price point you sell your product or service at. The marketing model that you are about to see is how you can tap into the absolute best sources of traffic to acquire new customers day in and day out like clockwork. This is how to scale your new customer sales like crazy. Now, in case this is the first time you've been on one of my trainings and you've never seen me present or speak anywhere, of course, my name is Todd Brown. Today, I coach, consult with, guide some of the top marketers and entrepreneurs on the internet. I'm talking about the absolute best of the best have either come to me for consulting, for guidance, have gone through one of my training programs, have partnered with me on a project, or have gone through one or more of my courses. Today, I am the guy that the best marketers on the planet come to when they need help with their own marketing campaigns. And I'm blessed to say that guys like legendary marketer Jay Abraham, when he wanted his son trained, he came to me. Michael Masterson, or Mark Ford, when he wanted to recommend a top A-player marketing consultant, he came to me. And I'm sharing this with you just so that you can feel comfortable knowing that what it is that you're going to hear me share on this presentation is working like crazy. Now, let me make a bold statement right here. Today, just having a marketing funnel is no longer enough. It's no longer good enough. It's no longer adequate for you to get attention, for you to stand out, for you to lead prospects to want to buy your product or service, to just have a marketing funnel. And that's because today, anybody that's doing anything even remotely well with marketing has a marketing funnel. There was a time when having a funnel, having an opt-in page, having a sales page, having upsells, having downsells, having these things would have made you stand out, would have made you unique. Today, that is no longer the case. Today, you need something different if you want to get attention, if you want to stand out, if you want to differentiate what it is that you have to offer, if you want prospects to see why it's superior, why it's better, and why it's a wise decision for them to buy, you need something different. That something different is what's called the E5 method, the method that I'm going to share with you on this presentation today. And we are going to go at lightning pace. This E5 method is currently being used by entrepreneurs and marketers in over 45 different countries. And it's working to sell hundreds of different types of products and services in over 60 different marketplace verticals, niches, whatever it is that you want to call it. Everything from physical products, information products, coaching, consulting, professional services, retail products, you name it. And so regardless of what it is that you are marketing and selling, this method will absolutely work for you. Now, to give you some context of the value of what it is that I'm about to share with you on this presentation, folks routinely fly into West Palm Beach, Florida, where I am. They invest over $12,000 for a single day to have me teach them this E5 method. Folks like John Rood, who went home and then generated $42,000 from a single webinar with just 232 registrants. 11 months later, he was at over $1 million. Or best-selling author Todd Herman, who came in actually twice, and after one of those visits, generated 800 grand in less than a day using this method. And Tim Donovan, who also spent the day with me, went back, generated an additional $3.5 million. This will work for you. Now, the E5 method, the E5 process, if you will, is a 5-stage process that I teach clients and students how to use. The first stage is what we call examine. The second stage is where we engineer the E5 campaign, like I'm going to share with you on this presentation. The third step is where we evaluate the campaign and ensure its profitability. The fourth step is where we enhance it, where we turn it into a full-blown marketing campaign. And the fifth step is where we expand your reach of new buyers. But today, on this presentation, for time purposes, we're going to focus on the most enjoyable part, the cool part, which is engineering. How do you actually set up this campaign so that you can get new customers every single day? Now, before we dive in, I want you to know that this does not require in any way, shape, or form you to do blogging if you don't want, you to create YouTube videos or Facebook posts or podcasting or affiliates or Instagram or any of that kind of stuff. I'm going to show you again the E5 campaign that you can set up, one campaign that you can use for months and months to generate new customer sales day in and day out. No matter how competitive your marketplace may be, no matter how saturated it is with great marketers, no matter how many other people are selling quote unquote similar products and services to you, I'm going to show you the method that will work to get you new buyers every single day. Now, first, to really lay the foundation for you, I want you to understand one single principle, and it's the principle of differentiation. But it's not what you think. It's not what you may have heard or learned or been told about differentiation. I'm going to show you a new way, the way that is working like crazy today to make your product or service stand out, to make prospects see it as something new, different, unique, to see it as the perfect solution to their needs, to their wants, really. Now, look, the idea of differentiation goes back decades in the world of business and marketing. Even early Harvard Business School professor Theodore Levitt said that differentiation is one of the most important strategic and tactical activities which companies must constantly engage in. He said it's not discretionary. That means it's not optional. You have to differentiate. You have to position your product or service as something different. That's not an option. It's not maybe. It'd be a great idea. It is critical. It is mandatory. How you do that in an effective way, I'm going to share with you in this presentation. Now, like I said, this idea of differentiation goes way, way back. Even the godfather of positioning, Jack Trout, talked about it early on, except, as you'll see in a second, there's one reason why this no longer applies today. Jack Trout said the key to the success of a business is to be different in the mind of the prospect, which is what positioning is all about. The key to the success of a business, to your success as an entrepreneur, is to be different in the mind of the prospect. Now, the problem with this is that little word right there, be. See, the idea of differentiation used to be that you needed to be different. There needed to be something different about you, about your company history, about your company track record, about your company credibility, about your company certifications, whatever it may be. But this is no longer the case. That no longer works today when it comes to differentiation. The idea of you trying to differentiate your product by saying, I'm different because of blah, blah, blah. I'm different because of how long I've been doing this. I'm different because of my experience. Or saying, if you sell a digital product, my info product is different because it comes from my 10 years in corporate, because it comes from my experience in the trenches. Or this idea of my consulting services, let's say, are different because I'm certified, because I went through XYZ course. See, this is no longer adequate today. And that's because everybody and their brother has something different to say about themselves. See, differentiation is no longer about your experience. It's no longer about your years in business. It's no longer about your credibility, your track record, or your client success stories. Today, that's not the differentiation that your prospects care about. That is not what they care about anymore. I'll tell you what they care about in just a second. Now, look, you might have heard of something called the unique selling proposition. I want to tell you what the unique selling proposition is, even though the USP is not the vehicle that I'm going to teach you to differentiate yourself. I'm going to teach you something much, much easier and much, much more effective. So a unique selling proposition is this idea of a unique benefit. So if your product or service, whatever it is that you are marketing and selling, if there was a unique benefit that only you offered, if there was a particular benefit that you were the only one that offered in your marketplace, you would have a unique selling proposition. And if that was the case, if you truly have a product or service where you offer a benefit that nobody else in your marketplace does, well, you can simply use that USP to differentiate yourself. But the reality is that the overwhelming majority of entrepreneurs are not offering a unique benefit. They're offering the same benefits as their competitors. They're offering the same change, the same transformation for their prospects, for their customers, for their clients as everybody else in the marketplace. And so if that's the case, well, how do you differentiate? Because in that case, you don't have a unique selling proposition, right? And so that's doesn't become a tool for the majority of entrepreneurs and marketers to stand out, to get attention, to position themselves or to position their product or service as different. And so what kind of differentiation drives prospects to buy today? Well, no doubt your prospects have likely tried other solutions, other methods, other products, and have been disappointed by them. No doubt your prospects have bought stuff prior to coming to you and have been let down and disappointed by those products, by those services, by those methods, right? Today, what your prospects want is they want a different way of getting results. They don't care about what makes you different or what makes your company different. What they care about is, does your product or service work in a different way to deliver the results that they want? Is this a new way? Is this a different way from what everybody else is offering for them to experience the results, the transformation, the outcome that they want, right? That your product or service promises to deliver. Well, that different way is the first piece of our E5 campaign, which is called your unique mechanism. Every product or service has a unique mechanism because really it's just a marketing invention. So what is a unique mechanism? Well, let's start with the mechanism. The mechanism is just the way your product or service works. That's all it is. It's how does your product or service work to deliver the results that you are promising. So for example, right, let's look at this, right? So if a massage therapist promised to alleviate low back pain with their services, well, the mechanism is how does it work? In most cases, maybe they are using a specific type of body work method. Maybe they're using Swedish massage, let's just say. That Swedish massage technique would be the mechanism. But what you want is you want a unique mechanism. You want a way, you want to present your product or service as delivering the result that the prospect is looking for in a unique way, in a different way. And like I said, this is just a marketing invention. So let me give you some examples. For the massage therapist who promises to alleviate back pain, maybe their unique mechanism is the unique combination of bodywork methods that they use. Maybe they use several different bodywork methods in succession with a client, and that's why or how they're able to alleviate pain. If you were selling, let's say, a piece of software, and let's say the promise of that software was how to get top Google rankings, well, maybe you've got a unique algorithm that makes up that software, and it's the algorithm that is able to deliver results. Maybe you sell unbelievably delicious birthday cakes. Well, maybe the recipe came from your grandmother from the old country, and it's that recipe which makes the cake extremely moist. And that's the unique mechanism behind how in that example, your birthday cakes are able to be so delicious. Maybe you sell a supplement that helps to bring down cholesterol. Well, maybe you've got a unique combination of nutrients or herbs in there, and it's that unique combination of herbs, nutrients in there that works to bring down cholesterol. See, you want to have a unique mechanism because the unique mechanism, and like I said, every product or service has one. You just need to dig it out from your product or service. See, when you present a unique mechanism, like I'm going to teach you in just a little bit how to do, what you do is you give your prospects hope that maybe this time with your product or service, they will experience the results because they think that maybe the unique mechanism that you have is what was missing from every other product or service that they tried. Maybe the reason why they failed before, the reason why the past products or services didn't work is because it didn't have this mechanism. And so they get an extraordinary amount of hope. They get excited that this time they can be successful. Not because you are presenting them with a new benefit, not because you're promising them something that nobody else promised them before, but because you're promising that they can experience that because you have a new and different way, your unique mechanism, to deliver the results. And you see this all over the place when you see big money marketing campaigns, when you see extremely successful campaigns, you see that they've got a unique mechanism. These are just some of the examples of what a unique mechanism is, what a unique mechanism looks like. Really, once you identify your unique mechanism, once you identify how your product or service delivers the results, all we do is give that how a name, and that name becomes your unique mechanism. Now, one of the most popular examples of this is from P90X. P90X is that home fitness system from the folks at Beachbody, which blew up, turned them into like $1 billion plus company. And so what P90X did when it first came out, or when their first infomercial clicked and it did really well, was they said to folks that the key to continuing to lose weight and continuing to build muscle was something called muscle confusion. At the time, many, many moons ago, that was unique, that was different. Nobody was talking about that. Muscle confusion. And right, to keep the muscles confused so that they didn't adapt, you didn't plateau or anything like that. And so P90X was the product that delivered that unique mechanism to customers, to buyers, right? The only place that folks at the time could get a method that was based on muscle confusion was with P90X. And it gave people a tremendous amount of hope that maybe they failed at fitness before, failed at losing weight before, failed at building muscle before, because every other program lacked muscle confusion. Every other program allowed the muscles to adapt. Every other program allowed them to plateau. And the answer, the secret, was in muscle confusion. And so what the folks at Beachbody did was they created an all roads lead to them marketing campaign, where once folks realized maybe muscle confusion is the answer, the only place at the time to get it was through P90X. That's the beauty of having your own unique mechanism. And like I said, every product or service can have one because it's just a marketing invention. Now, that's the first piece of an E5 campaign. The second piece is what we call a big marketing idea. See, now, one of the mistakes that a lot of entrepreneurs make today, a lot of marketers make today, and I want you to listen to this, okay? I want you to get this, is they think that the key to getting attention in a crowded marketplace, the key to standing out, the key to rising above all the noise of their competitors is to use hyped up, exaggerated marketing copy, to use hyped up language in their advertising, in their marketing campaigns. But they don't realize that every market reaches a point where hyped up copy is no longer credible. Prospects don't believe it. Prospects begin to ignore it. Prospects begin to doubt it. Their sales filter goes up immediately once they see that kind of exaggerated marketing copy. We call that, with our students, trying to scream a louder promise. See, today, trying to scream a louder promise no longer works to get attention, create engagement, and lead to the sale. Certainly not the way it used to. Today, in order to stand out and do it in a cool way, a way that works, a way that'll actually get attention, is to use what's called a big marketing idea. A big marketing idea is nothing more than a hook, an angle for your marketing campaign that is both intellectually interesting as well as emotionally compelling. It's an idea that's different, that's new, that's fresh, that's timely. It's a different angle, a different perspective, a different story than what everybody else is talking about. See, I'm going to say it again, right? That one of the keys to you having a big money marketing campaign, for you to truly have effective marketing, is you've got to bring a different idea to the marketplace. If you say the same thing that everybody else says, all you're doing is adding to the noise. All you're doing is going to get lost in that crowd of claims, of hyped up, exaggerated marketing copy. If you want to stand out, if you want to get attention, if you want to get your ads clicked, if you want to get your emails opened, if you want to get response to your marketing, you need to bring a different angle, a different idea. The big marketing idea is an idea, like I said, that appeals both intellectually as well as emotionally. Let me show you a simple example of what this looks like. So on the left is a screenshot of a book. I have no idea how long ago I took this screenshot, but you can see that it's the cover of a book, and all it is about outsourcing, how to outsource, outsourcing business for profit explained, right? Very run of the mill, very ordinary, very common, nothing new. There's YouTube videos about this. There's tons of books about this. There's courses on this. There's blog posts on this, you name it. And this is nothing new, right? This is not a different idea. This is not a unique idea. This is nothing that's going to grab attention in any market because it's been said before. So prospects have heard it. They've seen it. They've been there, done that with it, right? Now let's take a look at another book, right? So when this book by Tim Ferriss first came out, The 4-Hour Work Week, right? At the time, nobody else was talking about this concept of a 4-hour work week. Nobody was talking about escaping the 9-to-5, living anywhere, joining the new rich. This was a new idea. It was new. It was different. It was fresh. It was timely, right? The idea was unique. Now, here's the thing. This book is really about outsourcing. The 4-hour work week is really about outsourcing. How do you work a quote unquote 4-hour work week? How do you escape the 9-to-5? How do you live anywhere and still have a thriving business, online business? How do you do that? Through outsourcing. The difference between this, right? This book propelled Tim Ferriss to almost over $30 million of net worth. This book, The 4-Hour Work Week, sold, I believe, over 1.5 million copies, right? Likely more than every other book on outsourcing combined. But yet it was about the same exact topic. The reason why it worked was because the idea was different. This was a big marketing idea at the time. It was emotionally compelling for obvious reasons, right? How to work 4 hours a week and still be wildly successful. How to join the new rich, right? But also, right? So it was emotionally compelling, but it was also intellectually interesting because how do you do that? At the time, nobody was talking about that. So it was intellectually interesting as well as emotionally compelling. That's a perfect example of a big marketing idea and what a big marketing idea can do for your campaign, right? This is how you separate the average, the ho-hum, the marketing campaigns that barely work, that barely generate sales, that can't afford to use paid traffic to get new buyers from something that could make you extraordinarily wealthy. That's the reality. Extraordinarily wealthy. And it only takes one big marketing idea for one campaign for you to stand out and capture the attention of the lion's share of your marketplace. This is why, for me, that's me with a BMW that I won. I ran one campaign for 2 weeks to help my buddy Russell Brunson. And in the process, I won. I was the first person to be awarded a car from Russell. And why? Because of a single big idea. I ran a campaign for 2 weeks, big idea, generated thousands of buyers for Russell and won a BMW in the process. I'm not really a car person, but it was pretty cool to win a car. It's also why Jeff Walker, the creator of Product Launch Formula, said if you really want to move the needle, you have to focus on your big idea first. It's the thing that makes the rest of your marketing easy. Here's another person. He said, it's no BS. The big idea and unique mechanism alone had us over 350K in December. And so that's the second piece of the E5 campaign. So we've got the unique mechanism and we've got the big marketing idea. Now, the next piece, very simple, right? So the big marketing idea is really what gets attention. And once you've developed, or once you've really named your unique mechanism, we include it in the big marketing idea. And then we get to the emotion hooking lead. This is just how do you open up your marketing campaign? How do you actually start your marketing campaign? Really, this is the first 350 to 800 words. And it doesn't matter whether you are marketing with video, whether you're marketing with webinars, whether you're marketing with text on a sales page, long form sales page, short form sales page. The first 350 to 800 words of what you say is there for one reason and one reason only. And that is to set the emotional hook. In other words, the first 350 to 800 words of your marketing campaign should lead the prospect to say, this sounds amazing, show me more. This sounds awesome, now prove it to me. That's the only purpose of the first 350 to 800 words of your entire marketing campaign. That's it. Now, look, there's some nuance to this, of course. Like I teach my students when we go through the full E5 method, there are really 8 emotion hooking lead types. There's 8 different ways or 8 different types of ways that you can open up your marketing campaign. And the different ways are somewhat formulaic, right? Like they're really formulaic. The difference is based on who you are talking to. So we teach them this funnel engineering grid, and I just want to give you a small taste of this so that you understand this. How you choose the way that you're going to open up your marketing campaign, those first 350 to 800 words, is based on who you are talking to. It's based on how much do they know about you, about your product, and about the problem that you solve, right? And so the more that they know about you, about your product, and about the problem that you solve, the more direct we are in the opening of our marketing campaign. That's things like the offer lead, the invitation leads, the lead. The less they know about you, about your product, and about the problem that you solve, the more indirect we have to be. Those are things like the proclamation lead type, the story lead type. Regardless, what I want you to understand here on this short presentation is that the first 350 to 800 words of your marketing campaign need to do one thing and one thing only, nothing more and nothing less, and that is set that emotional hook. Get the prospect really in their mind to say, this sounds great, tell me more. This sounds great, show me why, right? So in essence, check this out. So really I want you to recognize this. I want you to see this because we're going to start to pull this together with our final 2 pieces of the E5 campaign, right? So you're introducing your prospect to a new and different way for them to experience the result that they want. That's your unique mechanism. You're introducing them to a new and different way that nobody else has introduced them to before for them to experience the result, the outcome, the benefit, the promise that they want. We're turning that into a headline, into an idea that is both appeals to them intellectually and, of course, is emotionally compelling because, like I said, it's a new and different way for them to experience the result that they want. Then in the first 350 to 800 words, we're choosing the right lead type to set the emotional hook so that they say that unique mechanism sounds amazing. It sounds exactly what I want. It sounds like it will be perfect for me. Now, prove it to me. That's what they're saying to you. Show me why and how it works, which brings us to our 4th piece of the E5 campaign, which is what we call EBM content. EBM stands for education-based marketing. This is where, check this out, this is where we educate the prospect on why and how your unique mechanism works. We're not talking about the product. We're not selling, right? We're not talking about the product's features or benefits or any of that stuff. Not yet, right? We're not talking about any of that. We're talking about the unique mechanism. So you're introducing in the E5 with your own E5 campaign, you're introducing prospects to a new and different way to get the result. You're hooking them emotionally, right? So that they want to hear more. And then what you're doing is you're educating them. You're delivering valuable information on the unique mechanism. You're explaining how it works and why it works, right? This is very easy to do because it gives you the opportunity to talk about the key component of your product or service. It gives you the opportunity to rave and teach and educate prospects about why your unique mechanism works and why it's superior to every other method out there, why other methods have let them down, why other methods don't work as well. And so what you're doing during this EBM portion of your marketing campaign is you are really delivering valuable content. You are becoming a valuable resource of insights for them, right? You're giving them ahas because you're not selling them. You're not trying to hammer them into buying your product or service. You're educating them. You're teaching them. You're giving them aha moments, all about your unique mechanism. That's the key. It's not education for education's sake. It's EBM content. It's education-based marketing. Why is it education-based marketing? Because it's about your unique mechanism. So we're not teaching them just to make you look smart or to make you, positioned as an expert or an authority. You're educating them on the unique mechanism. Why? Because when you're done with that education portion, and as you can see here, the big idea, unique mechanism, the lead, and really the EBM content makes up 75% of your marketing campaign. 75% of your marketing campaign is the big idea, unique mechanism, introduced really early on in the headline, the lead, the first 350 to 800 words, and the bulk is the EBM content. And so all you're doing is educating them. And by the time we are done with that chunk of your marketing campaign, they are sold on the unique mechanism. They want it. They see why it's valuable. They get it. They understand why it's different, why it's unique, why it works, why it's superior. They want it. And at this point, you haven't even talked about your product or service yet, right? So you're not selling, you're educating, but you just so happen to be educating in a way that leads prospects to want your unique mechanism. And of course, the only place that they can get that unique mechanism is in your product. See, so by introducing the unique mechanism, setting that emotional hook, and then giving yourself the opportunity to educate, to use EBM content, you are creating an all roads lead to you type of campaign like I talked about earlier. They can't go to Google and search for an alternative. They can't go to Amazon and find a replacement or a cheaper version. Why? Because you're the only one that offers the unique mechanism. In order to get the unique mechanism, right, they have to buy your product or service, which brings us to the final piece, the fifth piece of the of an E5 campaign, which is what we call a SIN offer. Now look, only 25% of the campaign is really quote unquote selling. And I don't even want to call it selling because personally I hate selling, right? But fortunately, the better the job you do with marketing, when you use a big idea, unique mechanism, when you use the right lead type to set the emotional hook, and when you present EBM content, what you're doing is you're making the selling superfluous. You're making it unnecessary because before you even present the offer, your prospects want the unique mechanism. They're going to be grateful for the opportunity to buy because you've led them to understand why your unique mechanism is superior, why it's the perfect solution for them, why they want it, why it's valuable, why it is the best decision for them to go forward with. And so at that point, once you've educated them on why the unique mechanism works, how it works, and why it's superior, that's when you present your SIN offer. Now, SIN stands for superior, irresistible, no-brainer. The offer, right? The offer is what are you giving to the prospect? And what do they have to give you in return to get it? So that's things like, how you present your features, your advantages, your benefits. Are you including any bonuses? What's the price? What's the terms? Is there a guarantee, etc.? Here, you want to put together, remember, we're talking about you having a single evergreen marketing campaign that can grow your business for months and months and months. You want to put together an offer that is superior to your competitors. That is superior to your competitors. That's why, as a side note, that's why the very first step in the entire E5 process, before you can put together any marketing campaign, certainly an E5 campaign, you need to examine the marketplace. You need to examine competitors. You need to examine your prospects. First, you need to examine your prospects because you need to know what makes them tick. What do they want? What don't they want? What's the problem that they have? What are the emotions that they have with that problem or obstacle that your product or service solves? But the next thing that you need to examine is you need to examine competitors because you need to understand how are they positioning their product? What is their mechanism so that you know what not to say? But you also need to know what are their offers. What are they offering, right? Because you want to put together a superior offer. Now, look, there's a whole process to this. There's a set of exercises and steps to this that we don't have time today to discuss, but I just want you to understand that to put together an E5 campaign, to put together any campaign, you need to start with examining. But there you go. That is an E5 campaign, right? We've got the big idea. We've got the unique mechanism. You've got the lead, the first 350 to 800 words. You've got EBM content, and then you've got a SIN offer. How well does this work? How well does this work? Here's Mike Sweeney. Not only how well, how fast, right? He said literally 2 hours ago, my E5 campaign went live via Facebook to a custom audience. First sale just came in already in 2 hours. Here's Danielle. I know it's early days. Just launched my first funnel this morning to a warm audience with a made only for you video. So far, 40% opt-in and 11% conversion rate. Here's Vladimir. Bought E5 in July. Recently built my first front-end campaign with a positive ROI of 126%. Jason Stogsdill. I now have my first customer acquisition funnel up and working. I ran $240 to cold traffic, made about $2,700 in yearly recovering. Here's Boris. He made an extra 40 grand from concepts he learned in one of the modules. Here's a well-known marketer who used the E5 method, did a webinar, $58,000 in recurring monthly revenue. Here's another client, Ed, closing out $2.2 million. Here's another one, Pete Renzulli, said ROI machine that pays for itself many times over. I could go on and on about the E5 method. We've got more case studies than we even know what to do with. And that's why Rory said to anyone thinking, or those even asking, I do think Todd Brown's E5 method is worth every penny that you will invest today. I actually think it's worth 10x more than what he's charging. Now, here is the thing. I do not have anything to sell you today. If you think that this would be incredibly valuable for you and your business, the E5 method, if you want my personal help in installing the E5 method in your business to get new customers every day, to put that customer acquisition on autopilot, to give you more consistency and predictability in your new customer acquisition so that you can tap into the best traffic sources, so that you can afford to pay for traffic and make a profit back. If you want to scale your customer list very quickly and do it in a big way, here is the deal. I've had my team of advisors, marketing advisors, folks that understand the E5 method like the back of their hand. I had them set aside time in their calendar to get on the phone with you, dive into your business, and look at your marketing, look at your product, look at your competitors, and show you how to get started using the E5 method. If that's something that you think would be wildly valuable, this is available for you free of charge. To get your strategy session, go as quickly as you possibly can. Once these guys get filled up, we'll have to close down the calendar, of course, for a little while. It will reopen, of course, but if you don't want to wait, I recommend you go quickly as you possibly can. Like I said, this is a method that is being used by the best of the best entrepreneurs and marketers online. It's being used right now in over 45 different countries. Marketers, entrepreneurs selling hundreds of different types of products in over 66 different marketplace verticals. Yes, this requires more work than the typical template fill in the blank kind of stuff that's offered out there. But I promise you, if you're serious about growing your business, if you're serious about acquiring customers, if you're serious about doing marketing the right way, a way that works and a way that'll continue to work for you for months and months to come, you want to implement the E5 method in your business, and I am here to help you. Get on for your free strategy session with my team. Let them rip apart your business and show you exactly how the E5 method works to get you new customers every single day for your business, your product, in your marketplace. There you go. I hope you enjoyed today's session. It was my pleasure to bring this to you. I'm super excited about you jumping in, and I really look forward to working with you and to implementing this in your business. Like I said, this is going to be a complete game changer.